right, welcome everyone to All Women Driven. This week we have Kirstin and Amanda. So you guys are Rebelle Rally Team 189. So what do you drive? We'll start off with that.
I don't drive, so I'll turn it over to Amanda. I'm the nerd in the back.
So what vehicle are you in this year?
Uh, this year we're in a 2025 Ranger Raptor. It's desert tan, and has been named Tantrum.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's a cute little name. So what do you guys do um, currently, not automotive related, but what do you do for your day jobs?
Ironically, in my case, that is automotive related also. So I work in the aftermarket.
Okay.
I know that you interviewed Catherine Reinhardt a while back. We worked together through SEMA teams, but I am also the sales and state director for Cobb Tuning's truck division and lead the product teams on our Ford and our Toyota development.
Okay. Awesome.
And Amanda?
Yeah, I work for a management consulting firm called Accenture, and I'm essentially a sales coach for them. It's a massive global company, and I really have an interesting job. If it looks like maybe we're not going to meet our numbers, I get to ideate and create what I would call sales intervention programs, to help us. Think of it as the take a penny or rounding up at the gas station, stuff like that.
Okay.
It's super fun. It's problem solving in the sales world.
Okay. So what do they offer? What's the company offer?
We're an IT
Okay.
support transition, journey to the cloud. So we're consultants. We're actually the bodies that help do the work. So we work with the client to help install whatever software that they're trying to move to.
Okay.
So we're not just a vendor for the software, but we also have the people to provide to help them implement.
That's awesome. Okay. So Amanda, do you do anything else in the automotive industry?
I do. So I recently had a small business for 6G Bronco aftermarket parts, and I'm no longer in business. I had that company for about 2.5 years, and it was super interesting. I loved it so much. It's really hard to manage that and a day job and
Yeah.
the Rebelle Rally prep and all the things. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it so much. The business helped make connections for me across the off-roading world, and allowed me access into fun things like Overland Expo. I know Kirstin goes to. I'm sure you've been to SEMA show. Super fun.
Yeah.
Just being an attendee the first year that I saw that, I was really blown away.
Mhm.
So that that's really it. I didn't really get into the off-roading and all things Ford until our family purchased a 2021 two-door Bronco Badlands.
Okay. All right. So how did you two come together as a team?
That's a little bit of a funny story. So Amanda and I actually started competing in the Rebelle at the same moment, roughly. Definitely started in the same year as rookies. And we had different teammates. And this year, my teammate decided to take at least the year off and do some traveling and adventuring that wasn't sequestered from her family for the time of the Rebelle. And Amanda posted that she had entered and had a new team and was very excited about it. And I sent her a message and I was like, "How did you find somebody already?" And she was like, "I didn't. Do you want to audition?" And basically it. Right. So we got together. Amanda happens to live very near my office in Texas. And so the next time I was in town, we went out and did some practice runs and checked out the vibes. One of the really unique things about the Rebelle is that it's not just about the skill set, but it's about the vibe, the chemistry inside the vehicle. That's a very long event to be trapped in a vehicle with someone that you are not getting along with. So for Amanda and I both, it was really important to audition each other basically, and then check in and be like, how's this going for you? Feels like it's pretty okay for me. How are you doing over there? And it's been a strange experience for both of us to, reform a team, but with someone who's done it before and who knows what they're getting into. It's a totally different kind of dynamic.
Yeah. I can attest I've been on a 22-hour trip with my husband with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And then, yeah. And then my dad and I just went up, like I said, to Michigan, 14-hour drive. And after that, coming into work the next day, I was like, I'm noticing every time he clears his throat, I'm noticing this, I'm noticing that. Like, I'm ready to start chucking things at his head. Like,
yeah.
stop. Like,
yeah.
You definitely have to get a little.
Really
Yeah.
easy to get that rate.
Right. So you definitely have to, that chemistry definitely has to be there, and you have to be able to put up with one another. So,
I would say that and a host of other soft skills were the unexpected, like super important things. As a rookie, it's hard to fathom and like wrap your head around until you see everything together at one time. I think it's very easy to practice one element of the Rebelle on your own. And I think like that's what's changing year over year. Like our practice game is upping quite a bit because we know what the full thing looks like. But your first year, you're practicing, maybe just doing an enduro, maybe you're camping and you're doing some checkpoint racing at the same time, maybe. But then, you're not spending 10 days together in a vehicle, like in preparation. That just never happened. Had maybe a couple of days in a row, but you're still not getting that real feel of day like 7 or 8 after you've been in the vehicle together. And how do you communicate then when you're tired and you're frustrated and, you're hot as hell? All of those things are super important, almost arguably to me. Equally as important as the skill set needed to be successful in the competition, like driving and navigation.
Yeah. I agree. I think that one of the really unique things about this competition, as you said, you can train on the technicalities of it forever and ever, but you don't know what's going to happen until you get in the truck. And even if you've done it before, you don't know how a new teammate is going to react. You don't know how the terrain on any given day might be and how those variables might, work into the mental state. It's so much more mental of a game than I think anyone can possibly prepare for as a rookie.
Yeah, for sure. So, going into this, how much have you guys trained together?
That's a combination.
1, 2, 3, like 4 intentional sessions in various locations. Yeah. Over like multiple day sessions when we do get together.
Okay. So what is your favorite terrain? Because I know like Melissa's favorite is the dunes. So do you have a favorite terrain that you like?
Such a good question. I love every format that is thrown into the Rebelle for different reasons. Just for flat out scenery and like beautiful views. Like we get a lot of slot canyons. They do that, I think, for like really gorgeous photography. And then also it's just, I don't know, you come around a corner and your field of vision is so narrow. And I just think, I don't know, it feels almost like you're in a movie when you get into some of those slot canyons. It's so beautiful. And that's one thing I've learned to do is appreciate what we're seeing along the way, and also like elbow my navvy and be like, hey, look at that. If they're heads down in the map, because the views are absolutely stunning, and I don't know that I would have opportunity to see them doing anything else. But challenge wise, I would say also dunes because they push me. Also, the consequences for an error are massive. And I feel like if you don't think you may die at least one time a day while you're out there in the dunes, you're not doing it right. Yeah. I mean, the rock crawling, I love all of that too, but I just think there's not a ton of that in the rally. There, even in the harder driving sections that you can choose. Not as difficult to say like going to Moab and headed down Hell's Revenge. It's not quite the same.
Okay.
It's interesting. I think there's a fine line between love and hate in real life and with terrain. Johnson Valley is one of my favorite places to go in my own vehicle when I'm not specifically seeking invisible points on the earth. We are there for Rebelle. It is a love-hate relationship because I love that it is hard. It is pushing that terrain in particular, I think, is the most challenging to navigate.
Mm.
And it's also one of the more challenging to drive and in ways that you don't expect because it's used as a racetrack and so it's rutted out. And there's just, when I say whoops, I mean like 4-foot crevices in succession, right? It's a pretty wild terrain to be in. And also I like the dunes because when you're navigating, the bumps that you get in the dirt, whether that is on a mountain trail or whether that is in, side trails at Johnson Valley, whatever it is, makes it so hard to navigate because you're constantly having to measure things on a map in your lap. And the dunes make that measurement a whole lot easier because sand is nice to drive in. I was also going to make it
so amazing. That's like a new nugget that I did not know, like from you personally, but also as a Navi. Love that. I'll keep that.
Yeah. I was also going to make the joke, like terrain, what is that? That's like the lines on the map, right? Like the lines that go down.
Remind me what that is again.
Yeah. To Amanda's point, as a navigator, you're like this the whole day. So you just don't see anything. Your head's just down on a map all day. And unless your driver points out to you, hey, there's a thing, look at the thing. It's really easy to miss the thing.
We were just training in Johnson Valley, and we were with Melissa and Catherine too. And you got to see some of our banter. I accidentally group texted you. One of the flags, I left something at our Airbnb and they shipped a flag with it. And they were just teasing us saying that they took one just to make us mad. And I thought it was hilarious, but that trip was really interesting and fun and hard for multiple reasons. We're pushing ourselves on closing time so we can make decisions a little quicker. Mm-hmm. I'll say also when you're just practicing, even if someone's so amazing and set up a really cool course for you, and we're using like little construction flags that are this tall. Super tough to really get a similar feel for the Rebelle using those as markers because there's a lot of scrub brush, in Johnson Valley. Those flags are easily hidden. And we spent like 30 minutes at times looking for the little bitty flag, but like we knew we were where we were. It was just obstructed from our view. And so in the actual competition, a green is a massive, I don't even know how tall they are, but like the marketing feathers basically. And the same thing for blues. So that's a little bit different. But anyway, the point I was getting to is we were on a power line road and the whoops were incredibly painful. Like we were going about 7 kilometers per hour is the only way you could prevent not only the front to back movement, but like we were getting side to side. So it's like we're just sitting there rocking around.
There are some funny and not necessarily marketable videos of the commentary during this.
We have some clips that are hilarious, yes. Yeah. And I had to capture it because really no other point in time in my whole life have I ever like intentionally put myself in a situation where we're doing that. I'm like, oh, what did you say? Only 6 more kilometers to go.
This is fine.
So I actually have an idea for a video that I want to accomplish at some point. It might be, people submitting theirs, but like the different passenger riders. In a Bronco, it's supposed to be, Bronco's buck. And so you have the
Yeah,
different bucking types. It's like, what
especially a
seat
two-door.
passenger are you? What passenger rider are you? Are you the rodeo clown? Are you the bucking Bronco hand up in the air, like going for it? Are you the bull rider? Are you the was it the barrel racer? Like, what kind of passenger rider are you? And I think it'd be hilarious to get the different ones and then label each one
Yeah.
and do like a little TikTok.
Oh, that would be
Eventually,
fantastic,
eventually that
especially
will happen.
the stereotypes of the ladies who were like and stomping on the brakes. Definitely not me
Yeah.
over here. I'm probably egging them on to do stupid shit.
The point for Ford products. Amanda and I have both only ever competed in Ford products. Raptors or Bronco Raptor, now Ranger Raptor. She was in the Bronco that was pretty well built before. And we were maybe in a rental Jeep. And we missed our Bronco and our Raptor, and it was brutal. But we had a good time, but we missed the truck.
Tim has a story of where he was like, okay, I got to see what all the hype is about these Jeeps. So he took a Jeep off the lot, a used one, of course, but he took one and he's like, I didn't even make it down the road before I turned around and brought that thing back. He's like, the suspension was terrible. I felt like I was bouncing all over the road. He's like, I brought that back and I got my own vehicle to take it home.
Yeah,
Listen, I probably said the brattiest thing I've ever said about a vehicle and its suspension coming home from that trip. Number one, I had my first, we'll call it a sidewall puncture ever out in Johnson Valley. And I literally rolled over a stick that was the size of a coffee stir, like smaller in diameter than this pen. And it just hit right on the corner and went straight through. And mind you, we're on 20s too, I think, which is kind of bananas. Like the surface area of that sidewall was about like this.
Yeah.
But when I got home, we survived it. We lived to finish the day, but the ride was so freaking rough. The enduro that we did was definitely, what did you say, Kirstin? That was a Raptor enduro. It was rough. And I said, I've never been so glad to be home driving a vehicle with the suspension I deserve. I feel like I did not deserve that.
No, I
will say my husband had a Jeep, an older like 89 Jeep when we got married, and we traded it for our F-150 supercharged Lightning, but I don't remember the suspension being that bad. Granted, we only took it on the roads. He didn't do off-roading with it, but I don't remember it being terrible. But we did trade it for a Ford.
That's all you need to know right there.
All roads lead to Ford products. I had a Gen 1 V8 Raptor before I got the first Ranger Raptor. And I will say I really don't miss anything except for the growl of the V8 and that power and like more room in the passenger area in the back. But other than that, like the Ranger, I think is the most fun off-road vehicle I've had the pleasure of driving. And I really loved that Bronco that I competed in the last 2 years. Love War Ponies, a great truck. Super fun, but the Ranger is a lot more fun to me. Yeah.
Do you hear I don't like Ranger because I say it makes a sound. It makes a boom type of sound when you rev it, or like when you first go.
Off valve.
I don't know.
Fast valve, yeah. It's
but
a turbo.
I don't like it. It sounds too airy for me, and I don't like the sound it makes. So I would never drive a Ranger, but you enjoy it. right?
I'm obsessed with it. And I'm pretty sure Cobb Tuning has some products that can change the way that
Handle
that
that, change
sounds.
that.
We can help you out. Don't worry.
But
Probably.
I mean, I personally run like there's options on the exhaust and how loud or quiet you want it to be.
Well, and
I mean,
it's not
I
really the
choose
exhaust, it's more of
Baja
the
all the time because I like to be an obnoxious jerk and just run around wide
he
open.
has a Roush exhaust. He has a Roush exhaust on his Bronco, and I
Yes,
will say, traveling 14 hours in that thing, when you get out, you're just like, "Oh, I can hear again."
you're dead.
Like, you're shouting at each other. It's yes, I like rumble trucks. I do like the sound. I do love it, but 14 hours, I do not. I don't want to do 14 hours in that.
I get that.
And
I'm built
so,
different. I'm happy to hear that for 14 hours and no human speaking.
but here's the thing: you still have to talk to each other. So you're having to yell at each other over that, or have your music so loud that's like blasting in your face. Which again, I don't mind. I prefer it. But
That's how I operate all the time anyway.
my kids actually have to tell me to turn the volume down. I'm like, okay.
Load it all in the
So
front.
right. Oh no, I actually do that. I have my sound pushed to the front of my car so that they don't get the brunt of it. But so do you have any side hobbies or gigs besides off-roading, or is off-roading kind of taking up the life right now?
I think right now, in addition to working, which is nearly all consuming this time of year as we prep for show season, and training for Rebelle, we have the side hustle that is Rebelle admin. Like we were just last night, we were on the phone together for I think an hour and a half, just doing the rest of the tasks around it. So all of there's the paperwork and there's the checklists and it's just wild how much additional work that is. Outside of that, I mean, if I'm not prepping for Rebelle, I like to spend my time off-roading and camping. I'm starting to sound awfully one-dimensional.
I've been experiencing that same feeling, Kirstin. Literally every free moment I have, if it's not, I live on a little bit of land out here, and so I have chickens that I take care of, and I often have a garden. I chose not to do one this year, and so I appreciate the animals, taking care of the property and things like that. But in every other spare moment is something to do fun with off-roading. So either like I've recently gotten into like jumping the Ranger Raptor because it's a blast, and there are several tracks out here, short course tracks in Texas where you can do that. Taking it to Domo in Gatesville, it's got a really cool short course and some off-road trails cut in. Then there's another really fun course up in North Texas in Decatur that has 3 different tracks, and there's like trophy style jumps. It is super fun. Otherwise, I'm off-roading in Hidden Falls, another local park that's mostly rock crawling. But yes, I'm definitely spending all of my free time outside, something vehicle related. I've also started doing some of my own installs. Like wiring is a new skill that I captured at the last Rebelle after some issues at tech inspection. Had the opportunity to rewire to pass and picked up that skill, and I've continued to hone it. And actually, it's transition. Like I've wired my mower now too. Get after it. So yeah, I'm either installing something or playing with the truck, or yeah, it's all off-roading related. When I meet new people, they think that I have like an addiction. Maybe I do.
So we bought chickens for the first time this year, and we bought 8, and then 2 more, like 5 weeks later, and then 10 weeks later, we bought 4 more. So
I would say 8's definitely not enough. So you gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
yeah, yeah. Well, in town we can have 1 rooster and up to 15 chickens in total. So
Smart.
we hit 14 with one rooster, one
Yeah.
accident rooster. But yeah, no, I totally get the chickens. Like, I find myself going out there every night and sitting with them for about an hour, giving them treats and just sitting there.
They're so
Like,
fun to watch.
yes,
They have
they're hilarious.
personalities. They're funny. Talk
I
about
told
like a surprise.
right? Like, I told my husband, I was like, I'm having puppy fever. Like, I really want a puppy. And then I think about the vet bills, the food, every, like, you have to go and register them, you have to go and do this. And it's like just a lot of money. Especially because like one dog is $159 for vaccinations right now. It's just crazy. So I'm like, now we have the chickens. I'm like, okay, this is my new thing. I'm good with just keeping one dog and just getting new chickens. And just,
Well, you can pay for the dog shots with the eggs that you're going to sell. Just
So
right?
smart. I love that.
girl math if there ever was such a thing.
Basically. But yeah, no, that's pretty much my life right now is work, which involves automotive and
Right.
chickens. So I get that. Um, so as you're going into this, um, would you guys want to come back on after and kind of tell me your thoughts and how you did?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Absolutely.
If we kill each other and suck all week, then probably not, but we'll see.
Maybe not like right after, because like I sleep for the whole week after. So like maybe after a month or so, kind of decompress and whatnot. But so did you either have family in automotive that got you into this, or did you kind of just jump into this yourselves?
So on the personal front, my dad raced Baja and still races circle track.
Okay.
My mom drove his chase truck for Baja for years, and so there's definitely some family connection there. Professionally, I come from basically a family of cops and teachers, so the idea of working in private business was, groundbreaking. It blew my mind when I learned that every industry in the world has salespeople. Like it truly, as someone who just comes from a cartoon family of teachers, it was mind-boggling that there were other paths out there.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much for me. I would say my husband at the time was really big into off-roading, grew up in Moab, and that's what they did as teenagers, just constantly off-roading, hiking, camping. And as soon as I met him, that's the first thing he did was take me out there, and I fell in love. I love all the things to do in Moab. It's gorgeous, it's challenging, it's unforgiving, and I surprised that I didn't like stumble upon this until my 40s, but happy that I did. It's been really kind of a cool experience. Like I've only been at this for like a few years. The amount of people that are willing to share information and tools and hands, if you're genuinely earnest and your mission to learn and like pay it forward, it's pretty rad how like many people that I've run into in the automotive industry are eager to share what they know and very generous with their time and their knowledge. And it's really made it easy for me to just submerge myself and pick things up really quickly just because of the nature of the people that I've come across. And I would say that I have not found that in every industry and hobby that I've ventured into. I was pleasantly surprised.
I think that's like especially interesting for the automotive world for women, because typically if your dad wasn't into cars, you missed the opportunity, right? And there is so much opportunity for great communities of people who are willing to learn and grow and teach. And there is plenty of opportunity for the woman that wants to be involved in this business, whether that's professionally or just as a hobby, to fully engage and get shockingly competent in a short period of time if they choose to. And there's loads of great, whether they're off-road clubs or whether they are, drift clubs, things like that. Like there's all kinds of really cool communities that build out, and look forward to the togetherness and the garage time as much as anybody. And I think that the opportunities don't stop if you didn't come from a family where dad taught you about cars.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think I would be in automotive if my dad wasn't at the dealership, and I hadn't grown up coming out here and seeing the cars and doing the things. Although I did not see myself in automotive, I was, going to be a chiropractor, and then I kind of just landed here, and it's gone from there. But yeah, it's kind of I've seen through the interviews, women don't always know that, automotive is actually very open and welcoming and friendly. Um, it's just it can seem daunting to come into since it has been a majority male-led industry. But, after talking to so many people, I'm like, no, this is welcoming and inviting. Sure, you're going to have a couple of people that are, the a-holes that, are, not going to be welcoming, but overall, you're going to find it's very welcoming. So that kind of leads me into, how can we encourage more women to come in and join us in this amazing community?
Don't
That's
leave
been my
with-
mission the entire time, I think. As soon as I showed up, the first time I went to Hidden Falls with the Bronco, we ran into people that were currently like my best buddies off-roading. We were brand new. They scooped us up and put them in their trail, and we off-roaded with them all day. And I got behind the wheel there towards the end. But one thing really stood out to me, that like there were big sections of the population missing from the park out there. Like, where are all the women and where are all of the people of color? And especially for me, the first time I actually went off-roading at that park, it was a series of unfortunate events. Like the very first evening, we went down a trail backwards. We weren't properly prepared, didn't have any lighting for night off-roading, got in a precarious spot, really bashed up the muffler pretty good. And by the time we got down and back to camp, I said out loud, this may be a you thing and not a we thing. I don't know how I feel about this. And I said, I think I can think of 1,000 ways I'd rather die than by your hand behind the wheel. And then the next day, when we got with that group of people, I got behind the wheel and everything changed. I was like, this is really fun. And I love to be in control of my own fate and destiny. And then that's where I figured out, like, every line, every obstacle is a chance to stack some wins. And when you're off-roading the whole day, you're just stacking up wins all day. It's super fun. I think every time now I am out and at an event, either where it's like a Raptor event where we're driving fast and jumping, or we're off-roading, I gravitate towards the women. I ask them if they've been behind the wheel today. And if they say no, I ask them why not. And I encourage them to get in the truck with me, even if the dude that they're with maybe won't welcome them behind the wheel, just to give them an opportunity. And also, like, it is okay to take up space and to be the one driving in this hobby.
Yeah, I think you had actually asked me that. You're like, have you driven? And I was like, no, this is my first time out. You're like, oh, okay, so why aren't you driving? I was like, it's my first time out. I don't know anything. But by that third day I was driving, I drove the whole trail. Even through spots my dad was like, I was unsure about you driving through some of this. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But I did it, and I haven't gone back since. I'm like, okay, now I have to drive.
Yeah.
And my mom's the same way. She got to go to Bronco off rodeo, and since then, my dad can't drive on trails anymore if they go. My mom is the one.
That's how you become a multi-Bronco family.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, as soon as we pay off this Bronco, we're buying another one.
Yes.
So, but yeah. What about you?
I think education is a huge piece of it. In my experience, whether it's been in actual classroom settings or on the trail, women generally listen better and there's less ego involved generally. There are always exceptions to these rules, but I think that women will pay more attention and make safer choices and generally better choices as long as they have the information. And so I think that education is a huge piece of it. Knowing too that if you want to be involved as an enthusiast in the market, it's okay to go slow at first, whatever that means, whether you're, on a drag strip, it's okay to learn how to drive in a slower vehicle and then work your way up. And I think that the same is true on the truck front. If you're not comfortable yet, go slower. If somebody gets fed up with you, that's their problem, right? They can always go around. You can always pull up. I mean, make smart choices and don't be a trail hog and all of that. But there are ways to enjoy it. And I guess too, to understand that, especially in the off-road side of things, it is not one single thing. If you want to go fast in a wide open stretch of desert, that's an option. And if you want the technical driving challenge of rock crawling, like Amanda, because she's insane, that's also an option. And if you want to go, overland your way up a fire road to a beautiful mountaintop and camp for the weekend, that's also off-roading. I mean, fire roads are roads, but whatever. And there's a little something for everyone who has any level of interest, right? You can be as committed or as casual about it as you want, and know that there are communities that are there and ready and willing to help and support and teach and include. And I think that is really, it is a fairly unique segment of the automotive space that I have found, especially in the off-road space, to be true. And I think that it's just an incredible group of people.
Yeah.
As I said, there are exceptions to every rule. What was that?
So
I was just saying, I agree with that so much. Like the education piece,
Yeah.
I am happiest when I am learning. I love learning. And to that end, like I found a mentor in Melissa. She loves teaching and like pouring into people. So you put that together and it's awesome. Like I will take everything that you're going to dump on me and try to figure out how to get better. So to Kirstin's point, like you can set like how much you really want to get involved. And I think you will find that someone will meet you wherever you want to be or wherever you're at and help you continue that. Like she said, whether you're just interested in some pretty vistas and some camping, or you're interested in really pushing yourself and getting some, like leveling up your skills. I'll share one moment last year that surprised me. After some reflection, I figured out what it was that was so intimidating and like brought some emotion to me while I was on the trail. It was unexpected. Took my brand new Ranger Raptor last summer to Moab. It still had the paper tags on it. And we took it up Hell's Revenge. And my goal was to drive the entire time. As a Texan, it is flat here. And I have had very little seat time and opportunity on like steep ledges and fins. And fins are probably my least favorite. And right at the very beginning of Hell's Revenge, there's like 3 fins right up front. And we were like in the middle of the first fin. And I started to like really get some major anxiety, like started to like well up a little bit. And I couldn't figure out like what was going on. My husband at the time was in the passenger seat and he was like confused and confounded. He didn't understand like what was happening. He was like, what's going on? And I sat there for a minute, allowed myself to like breathe and calm down. And then it hit me. The consequences for a mistake in that moment are huge. To Kirstin's point earlier, self-preservation genes are strong, I think, in the female population, especially. And so that's really what it was. I mean, of course, there's fear of failure, probably in everything I do. But like when it came to that, it wasn't just the extreme consequences of the vehicle, but loss of life, and loss of life of the person that I care most about in the vehicle with me. I don't even know that I would have the same experience again if it was just me in the truck. But being responsible for someone else's life, and it was very real in that moment. I think that was a huge thing. And throughout that day, the end result of that, me recognizing, what it was, built so much trust with myself, and confidence building that, yes, that is hard. Yes, if you F up, like it could be really bad, but also if you trust yourself and you do the things that you know to do, you're probably going to come out fine. And I did.
Yeah. Have either of you been to Bronco Off Rodeo?
I think Amanda has, right? I have not.
I have not actually. I didn't go. Well, I take that back. My sister-in-law, also Amanda Walden, worked at the Moab Bronco Off Rodeo. And while I didn't go to the one for our two-door, my husband went by himself. I got basically my own personal off rodeo with Mandy up in Moab, and it was an amazing experience. I got my favorite thing, right? I got one-on-one instruction for the entire day, and basically took me through all of the courses. Like Dome Plateau is what we did when we were up there, and I loved it. She showed me everything that the Bronco could do, what situations to use, like which of the hero switches. It was really, really fun. And I think Moab is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So if you have an opportunity to pick, I haven't seen any of the other locations, but the Texas and the Moab venues. But
I can tell you, New Hampshire is gorgeous. It's on the ski resort or like ski slopes that aren't being used in the summer, so it's only open when the ski resort is down. But it's gorgeous. It truly is. But if you've been off-roading with Melissa or trained with Melissa, you basically get your own personal off-rodeo with her.
100%.
I'm actually going to the Raptor Assault here shortly. So
yeah. Been to the Raptor Assault. Sarah, like anybody, like your brother, your dad, been to the Raptor Assault school?
Well, no, I don't think he technically has. He's been to Vegas for Bronco Off Rodeo, but I don't think it. And he does dealer days, so he gets the half day.
Okay.
He doesn't do a full day, so he's been to all of them, all of the locations.
Awesome.
Doing dealer days, and then he chose to take his because he bought the Bronco. He went to Utah and rode with Melissa, so he made sure Melissa was working that day. And then they did the half day adventure in not dealer day, but an actual half day in Texas. He won the half day Bronco off rodeo experience, and then he himself gave it away. And then he was like, "Hey, so I'm going to film him doing this and experiencing this. I really want to come and join so that I can film this for you and promote Bronco off rodeo." So they allowed him to go do that. So he actually went down to Texas and did, I think, Hidden Falls afterwards. Like they met up with a Bronco group and did that. So he took his own personal vehicle. So, but if
was that the spring?
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah.
It sure was. Actually, I have a picture of the back of the Bronco. Because this side up, problem, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah. I was behind for most of the day. Behind the
Yeah. So there was a joke. We went to go take it to Michigan, and it wouldn't turn on. His Bronco was just not turning over. It wasn't even starting. Nothing. He tried changing battery. He tried a bunch of things. Nothing was working, so he had to have it come towed into the dealership. And my mom took a picture of it on the flatbed going, "I think our tire cover's upside down." Because it said, no problem. So we have some fun with that. But yeah, I really think Bronco Off Rodeo, if you don't know anything about off-roading, but you're starting with Bronco, it's a wonderful tool to get into to everything, you know?
Absolutely. And they have ladies' days, which I think is also like really cool and
Mhm.
welcoming. So like they
I
do one every year in Texas, and I know they do them up in Moab too. So I think that helps like encourage women to go. Like you're not going to get mansplained. Nobody's going to make fun of you. You can ask all the
Yeah.
things, and be surrounded by other
Yeah.
women that are in the same position as you, which immediately for me, I have a little social anxiety, like calms me down. If I know there's a
Yeah.
bunch of people in the same spot as me and we're all there learning together, it takes
Yeah.
so much pressure off, and it allows me to enjoy myself. So I think it's really cool that they do that.
Yeah. I've talked to Allie about that, and the women's days you have to have owned a Bronco. They don't have like the half day option. Like if you, because they have the half day option for you if you don't own a Bronco, that
Hmm.
you can go still experience it. But they don't have that option for the women's days. I was like, oh, we need to encourage a dealer day or an open women's day for women, because it would be awesome for a dealer day for all the women and different dealers to come meet and do an off rodeo. But well, we have been talking for quite a while here. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll have to have you on again after Rebelle to see how you guys did.
Yeah, we'll see you after the rally. Thank you for having
All
us.
right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Love to.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another all women driven episode. We had a wonderful time here with Amanda and Kirstin. Join us next time. I believe I will have another Rebelle Rally team joining us. So come back. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that way you get notified every time I do share a video. Have a wonderful day, guys.